Deep cleaning must be done once a week for each machine. First, you must dispense the rest of the yogurt left in the machine using the wash cycle. Soft clean your machine as the previous chapter instructed. However, do not sanitize the machine just yet. The first step of the deep cleaning process is the removal of the dasher cover. Loosen the screws and pull off the dasher cover. Then, pull out the two dashers and the bolts with the boot seals as well. Rinse out the cylinders and use a brush to scrub any yogurt on the inside. Rinse once more when you finish scrubbing. Then, prepare sanitizing solution. Ding! Rinse the dasher off and put it in the sanitizing solution. You must air dry each piece after sanitizing in order to keep them germ-free. Remove the boot seal from the bolt. There will be grease inside. Wipe it off, wash, and sanitize it. Do the same for the bolt as well. Air dry both pieces once they are done being sanitized. Next, disassemble the dasher cover. Remove the bearings and get them washed and sanitized. Next, take out the rubber rings and wipe off the grease on them. Once that is done, rinse and sanitize them as well. In order to clean the shafts on the inside of the dasher cover, you must first take the levers off. Pull out the rod that holds the levers in place and remove the levers. Next, pull out each shaft. Wipe off the grease, wash them, and put them in the sanitizing solution. Turn the dasher cover over and remove the shape makers. Clean them in the same way as well. Now that all the parts are disassembled, you must use a brush to clean the insides of the dasher cover. The large brush is used to clean the area where the shafts used to be. The smaller brush is used to clean the holes in the back end of the dasher. Now that all the parts have been cleaned, they need to be put back into the machine. First, place the boot seal on the bolt. Then, use the food-safe lubricant we provide and generously apply between the boot seal and the bolt. This grease will prevent yogurt from entering into the back of the machine. Make sure you do not grease up the hexagon. If there is a bit of grease on there, it is recommended that you wipe it down using a paper towel. Next, we will assemble the dasher cover. There are two different kinds of shafts, one for the single flavor levers and one for the middle lever. Grease each shaft in the area with the rubber lining. Place them gently inside the dasher cover. Make sure that the hole on the top of the shaft is facing the front of the dasher cover so that the levers can be inserted into them. Next, take the rod and the levers and insert them into the shafts like so. When you're done with the levers, flip the dasher cover over and pop the shape makers into place. Next, place the rubber rings onto the grooves behind the dasher cover. Each ring has grooves on one side and is flat on the other. Make sure that the flat end is facing away from the dasher cover. Failure to do so can cause the machine to leak. Apply lubricant on the rubber rings in order to further prevent leakage. If you are having trouble getting the O-rings to stay in place, you may also apply a small amount of grease in between the rings and the dasher cover. Place the bearings on the dasher cover and we are ready to put the parts back into the machine. Push the bolt and boot seal into the hole in the back of the cylinder. Make sure that the bolt is in place and locked in. Then put in the dasher. The dasher also locks onto the bolt, so make sure that they are both locked in. Do the same for the other side. After the dashers are in place the dasher cover over the cylinders. When the cover is on, screw on the fastening bolts. Try to fasten them as you would your car tires. Tighten opposite screws at the same time so that the cover will not go in crooked. Once the machine has been completely reassembled, sanitize it. This completes your lesson on the deep cleaning process. There are two things you must check from time to time. The first thing you must check is the drip tray. Clean off any yogurt that may have dripped onto the tray. The second thing is the air filter. If the air filter is dirty, clean it with an air cleaner, vacuum, or a wet piece of cloth. This concludes our instructional video.